So I came across this video talking about yet another proof of God. In it, Erwin McManus talked about, among other things, how unbelievers should deal with grief, i.e., they should just stop feeling anything whatsoever, which I honestly found completely offensive. Now, as friends and viewers know, I recently went through a loss, one of the worst things a parent can go through, so this is a touchy subject for me. My pain is not unique. Everyone at some point, believer or non, has lost someone important to them. But it's my experience, so this is what I'm going to use. This is going to get more than a little personal, so if you want to hear about that, you might want to switch off right now. For anybody else, let's take a look.
I got a question from an atheist that was asking me how, can you prove that God exists? And I said, well, first let's talk about proving that something is transcendent, that's bigger than us, bigger than time and space and the material world. I said, because of all the times where I've seen proof of something bigger than us is when I've been at funerals. Because grief is proof that love is more powerful than death.
Wow.
Because really, if you think about it, if nothing exists out of what we experience or what we know, the moment someone dies, we should stop loving them.
Okay, this is what pissed me off. Since I don't believe in a creator being, when I lost my daughter, I should have just cut all emotional ties to her, said, oh well, and gotten on with my life. It's been almost a year since she was taken from us, and I still have times where I have to find a place to myself and can't do anything but cry. This is not because some mystical divine connection has been severed. It's because we had a strong emotional connection, and now she's gone. The grief I feel is because I know she's no longer with us, that the experiences and life she would have lived now has no chance to happen, and that no matter what, I will never see her again. It doesn't take a soul or some kind of supernatural connection to feel loss or grief. All it takes is the knowledge that somebody who was important to you is now gone and is never coming back. We become emotionally attached to the people in our lives, and when they're gone, that loss is like a hole in our psyche. Saying, you feel loss, therefore God, just doesn't make any sense to me.
And even though there's a different experience right now, because your dad is not here with us, but he is not lost. And there's a greater distance between you right now, between time and eternity. But love travels that distance. And so what you feel in your grief is not the loss and absence of your dad, it's just the new distance that love has to travel for you to connect with him.
If that's true, that your grief is just because there is a large distance between you and your loved one, and you will eventually be reunited, then your point in saying that non-believers shouldn't feel grief, and it's only the transcendental that makes us feel the loss of a loved one, well, that should be reversed. Believers seem to think that they will be reunited with their loved ones, so their grief should be minimized, knowing that they will be brought back together at some point, and that their missing one is currently in paradise. Non-believers feel they will never again see those who have passed away. That, to me, seems like a greater loss, since there is no way to reunite with our loved ones. I could make the argument, then, that the grief a believer feels when losing a loved one is proof they don't really believe in an afterlife. Otherwise, they would be celebrating the loved one being in paradise, and their separation is only temporary. But, honestly, it's just distasteful for either side to use someone's pain to score some cheap points. I understand that in part religion was created to give answers about the unknown, like where do we go when we die. I find it dishonest, though, to use the pain and grief someone is going through to say, see, this is proof we're right. If there wasn't a God, you wouldn't really be feeling any grief for your loved ones. In fact, you would just stop feeling anything at all, especially since the loss can be explained by simply missing those who are no longer with us, and knowing we'll never be able to see them again.
Just like every night has its dawn. Just like every cowboy sings a sad, sad song. Every rose has its thorn.